We're going to start where we left off in the last video, which was about if-else statements. In this video, we're going to talk about some of the operators that you can use in your conditions. When I say your conditions, I mean what's in your if statement, what's in your else if statement, what have you. So, up here you see the relational operators. In the last video, we used the equal symbol, this is equal to symbol. This right here, underneath it, is the opposite, is not equal to. You're probably familiar with the other four symbols. Well, you might not be too familiar with the way they're laid out, but all they are the mathematical symbols you use to compare the values between two numbers. For instance, this is greater than or equal to, is less than or equal to. Down here we have the logical operators, which might not look too familiar. We have this logical OR operator, which is represented by two bars, which is probably shift and backslash on your keyboard. It might not be, but that's where it is for me. Some people refer to it as double pipes. The next one is the logical AND operator. It's represented by two ampersands, so two AND symbols. And then the reverse, the is not true logical operator. I'll show you what I mean when I say logical operator. I made two variables here, my double, which is equal to 30.6, and my boolean, which is equal to no. Then we have our if statement here. I'm going to tell you how this reads. If my double is less than 31, or my boolean. You might be thinking, my boolean, what's that? It's a variable just floating around by itself. Well, you can think of it this way. My boolean's value is equal to no. This condition on the left side has to evaluate, and it's going to evaluate to yes because my double is less than 31. So this represents yes, and this represents no. So if we run it, let's see what happens. It's going to succeed. That's because this is the OR operator, which means that if either what's on the left side of the operator or what's on the right side is true, go ahead and run whatever's in the curly brace. Go ahead and execute the code because the condition has been met. Now if we switch that over to the logical AND operator and we try to run it, it's going to fail. That's because now what's on the left side of the operator and what's on the right side of the operator has to evaluate to yes. So the condition is not met because my boolean is equal to no. Let's use this last logical operator. Put it before my boolean, so it's going to be before the variable. I'm going to run this, and it is going to succeed because the value of my boolean has been reversed from no to yes. Now, you could use a lot of different operators. You're not going to see huge chains of operators in one condition, but if you are starting to get a lot of conditions, what I like to do is enclose them in parentheses. So this will evaluate first and the other will evaluate outside of that. Think of the order of operations in math. So you kind of want to partition things off if it starts to get a little too cumbersome. Okay, I could sit here and make a lot of different conditions and show you all the is greater than, is less than, is not equal to, all the logical operators, but it would take a long time and would be pretty monotonous. So what I would recommend doing is making some conditions yourself and see how they evaluate. You're going to see a lot of these different operators, so try to get familiar with them. In the next video, we'll talk about switch statements.